Evening YouTubers. So what do we have here? We've got Ubuntu 17.04 and this is the Unity edition. I will be reviewing the GNOME edition, the Budgie edition and Mate. Not forgetting also that I will also review the XFCE edition known as Ubuntu. This is probably going to be my last review of Ubuntu with the Unity desktop. I previously did a video, and you can see that in your top left corner there, on what had changed with Ubuntu internally, and you'll find out more in that video. But notwithstanding that, also Jane Silber, the CEO, has plans to step aside mid this year and allow Mark Shuttleworth to go back into the CEO position and refocus Ubuntu on their relative strengths, or Canonical I should say, on their relative strengths. And Jane Silber will remain as a board member. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of an overview of this release. So first of all, let's take a look at the release notes. I'll just bring up Firefox here. I have some bookmarks, so we won't waste any time sifting around looking for them. This version is called, and you could see that there, just give that a moment to load, it's Zesty Zappers. I never remember the names, honestly. I think the last one I remember was Warty Warthog or something like that. It doesn't really do it for me. The numbers are fine. So what you'll see is some release notes here. Now, they support it for 9 months, given that it's not a long-term support release. If you want long-term support, you can go here. Now, just remembering too that long-term support does not mean that you can go and phone someone and expect them to help you out. It just simply means that you'll receive security updates and the like for quite some time. These are the releases that you can go for. There are a bunch of different releases. I should have remembered I'm also going to do a review of Ubuntu Studio, which is very nice for doing those media ones. I forgot about that one. And there is a Kubuntu release, interestingly, because I actually looked for that and did not find it on DistroWatch. So most likely we'll do that since KDE is nice and fresh, isn't it? So let's take a look. So there's an upgrading from advice there. New features. I found this curious because I'm not typically an Ubuntu user. I did find something a little curious, and that is that for others changes since 14.04. So yes, go and look at the 16.10 release notes. I initially interpreted that as, oh, maybe not much has changed, but there are a few things down here that we'll discuss that have changed. So as you can see here, they've dropped PowerPC support. Never been much of a PowerPC user. Perhaps if you were on the old Macs, then you would be doing that, or I believe some of the IBM machines, I think, but yeah, not likely. Not a big deal for me, but nonetheless it just sort of flags that System D is getting more and more traction. We're using a DNS resolver, System D's Resolve D. How much does System D want to do? Anyway, moving on, there is this one. This is the curiosity of a swap file being used instead of a swap partition. Never seen this before on a GNU+Linux system. I've seen it on Windows, obviously. It uses a paging file, but not a swap file on GNU+Linux. That prompted me to take a bit of a look-see over here at the Arch Linux wiki. So you can see here that there's some advice on what you can find out there. So let's just go in and see swap on show. So that shows you that we actually have this swap file in /root. It didn't trigger me initially to look in that location. In fact, I went and did a bit of a locate swap file, which obviously uses the cache and then it finds it nice and quickly rather than using the GNU find program, which is fine. I use that as well, but nonetheless a little quicker if you've got the caching going on, or the index going on. So we've got this swap file, and you can do a bit of an ls-l, and you can see the swap files there, only usable by root. And the other thing too to note is, actually we'll just grep it. And you can see that there's some detail about what the hell was going on with that swap file. So a little strange for me, but apparently it's quite common. Okay, so at least not common amongst distros, but common amongst, you know, users who customize. It's there, the option's there. Apparently no performance benefits or anything like that, as you can see here. But anyway, so let's go back to, so a couple other things. So they've updated the kernel. Okay, so updated packages. No other significant changes there. Interestingly, driverless printing, not going to affect me because I don't believe I've got any of this nor any of that. But apparently some of these guys will work. So, but I do have a printer over there, but nonetheless, it's been out of action for a while. It's a Samsung one, uses a Splix driver. So if you're a Samsung user, or at least a Samsung printer user, and you are wondering what driver to use the Splix driver, Splix. So that's there for you. Now, I don't think the Splix driver will necessarily help for this, but anyway. So we've got some Ubuntu desktop changes. So we've got the LibreOffice has been updated to 5.3. So let's take a look at that now. I might even bring that up as well. Just give it a moment to start. This is on a mechanical drive, not on my typical solid state drive. I do have a spare solid state drive that I could use, but I prefer not to get the writes up on that one. As we all know, solid state drives do not like excessive writing, and distros, when you install right, you know, you're just asking for failure to happen. So we've got the, interestingly enough, we've got the theming going on, which is not the same theming as I had in the last one. So the theming and integration is not really happening here. Now let's see if I can fix that up. Tools, options, view. Let's have a look at. Let's take a look at. Which one will it be? Which one will be? Oh, it's this one, of course. Let's have a look. Don't know if that will do it. No. By the way, I just should let you know that I have actually updated the distribution. There are no outstanding updates that are needed for it. So let's just try Galaxy, which is the typical one. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. There was a sort of a custom theme that was looking pretty nice back then, I believe. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Let's exit LibreOffice there. It did actually exit out of that, which I didn't want it to do. But there, yeah. So recommend you try LibreOffice. It is actually a competent office suite. I used it all through my business degree and my honours in management. So, and you know, probably for the first half of the first year I didn't, but yeah, I was using Ubuntu for a little bit there, and then used other distributions on my Asus EEE. Now, Ubuntu had great support for the Asus EEE. EEE PC, I think it was called at the time, but yeah, so that's fine there. It's doing what it's doing. It's provided by GNU, yeah, and all this file manager. Look, honestly, I don't think there's going to be anything exciting here, because the one thing I've been wanting for ages, been asking for, F3 split screen support, not happening. Even Midnight Commander has split screen support. Terrible. This is terrible. Still doesn't. Anyway, wow, calendar app has a weak view. This is not so much of a criticism of Ubuntu, not at all, but let's have a look at the calendar. Let's see that it actually does have a weak view. Weak. Wonderful. Fine. So it's kind of nice that it has it there, but yeah. And how does this integrate? Oh, I can create events and stuff. Cool. So let's do that here. What time is it now? It's about 2100, so yep. Do distro over there. Add. Cool. Done. And we can change things there. Does it have a loop? Doesn't look like it has a loop, as in, you know, do it in the future. Infinitum. Alright, fine. gconf is no longer superseded by gsettings. Fine. And Unity 8 is available as an alternative session. And that's kind of amusing, to be honest, because, yeah, Unity 8 is going by the wayside, so I'm not sure why they didn't just pull it, to be honest. Really don't. Unless they've got other plans. Ubuntu Server, you can take a look at those, all the virtualization stuff. Really hammer home the importance of libvirt and QEMU there. I haven't been much into the container stuff. So, GPU pass-through. Wow, that's awesome. So if you really wanted something to run like that, then in a container, then that's there. OpenStack stuff, not personally into OpenStack, but fine. And there's the nice caveat there for any dodge stuff. There is there are some installation issues about LVM, so I'd suggest you do that. And yeah, just they're asking you to format the drives if you've got these issues or this issue here. Cool. So OpenVPN, there's apparently an issue with the config, so you can have a look at that. And that's something that is pretty pertinent in Australia these days, because of course there are a number of organisations and people promoting the use of VPN to keep our connections secure and not so visible, I guess, to prying eyes. Now upgrade, decommiss. Wow, some third-party dev files are not installable in the software app, so some issues there. I use apt-get, so I used FFM. I'm using FFmpeg now to do this screen recording, and I'm going to take. Probably what you don't realise is I'm not actually using a webcam right now. What I'm actually using is this this camera, and I'll just prove that now. Okay, I'm just going to move this, and you can see the screen just now, just like that. I actually overlay that using FFmpeg. I actually sync it all up and use FFmpeg. That's probably a tutorial in itself, to be honest. Okay, so there's some detail there. So it looks like a pretty bog standard release. There's not much going on in the land of Ubuntu at the moment. I'm going to leave this video pretty much at this point. Suggest you take a look at it. I think there's going to be some more interesting stuff in the non-Unity space. Obviously, investment in Unity is kind of grinding to a halt. I'm not even sure that I got a new wallpaper out of this this edition. Perhaps I did, but it looks pretty much the same as the last one, to my eyes anyway. Maybe not to yours. Not sure. But anyway, guys, let's leave that there. If you liked this video, please press the like button just down there. Same with the subscribe if you want to receive this content more. And just remember, I really do value your comments. Please leave them below. I've usually got enough time to reply, and at least someone else may reply. So anyway, we'll leave it there, guys. Leave your thoughts. Bye now.